So I went out and I rented a rototiller, which I thought was a thing about like so. Turned out to be 7 feet long. Big motor.
You think you know Michael Landon? The charming little Joe, the steadfast Charles Ingalls, the angelic Jonathan Smith. But beneath those iconic roles was a man wrestling with pain, passion, and profound choices. From a boy who faced heartbreak to a star who captivated millions, his life was a tapestry of triumphs and trials. Yet, one decision in his 40s reshaped his legacy forever. What was that choice, and how did it define the man we still cherish? Join me to uncover the untold story of Michael Landon's extraordinary life. Somewhere in the dense woods, a cabin stood silent, its doors locked tight for decades. Whispers among locals painted it as Michael Landon's secret retreat, a place where the star of Bonanza and Little House on the Prairie hid pieces of his soul. After his passing in 1991, rumors claimed someone finally opened it, uncovering letters, keepsakes, and truths he never shared. Was it real, or just a legend, spun around a man whose life was as complex as the roles he played? The answer lies in the journey of a boy who became an icon. Eugene Maurice Orowitz entered the world on October 31st, 1936 in Forest Hills, Queens, New York. His father Eli, a Jewish-American actor and theater manager, and his mother Peggy, an Irish Catholic dancer, lived in a home where faith sparked constant friction. Their daughter Evelyn, 3 years older than Eugene, grew up in the same strained household. In 1941, the family relocated to Collingswood, New Jersey, hoping for a fresh start. But the small town offered little warmth. Anti-Semitism ran deep, and young Eugene felt its sting daily. Classmates shunned him, and on Wednesdays, while others attended church, he stayed behind, scrubbing blackboards, wondering why he was always the outsider. Home was no sanctuary. Peggy's mental health struggles cast a dark shadow. She battled severe emotional turmoil, attempting to end her life multiple times. During a family beach trip, she walked into the ocean, determined to disappear beneath the waves. Eugene, just a boy, chased after her, his heart pounding as he pleaded for her to stop. When words failed, he struck her, forcing her back to shore. She brushed it off as if nothing happened, but Eugene was left trembling, sick with fear. What kind of mother could forget such a moment? The memory haunted him, a wound that never fully healed. Another source of pain was a medical condition that caused Eugene to wet the bed. His mother, convinced it was defiance, hung his damp sheets outside for all to see. The school bus passed by daily, carrying classmates who mocked him mercilessly. Desperate to escape the shame, he'd wake before dawn, racing to remove the sheets or sneaking to a laundromat to wash them. Once, Peggy sent him to a sleepover, daring him to prove he wasn't faking. The pressure was crushing, and years later, he poured this anguish into a film called The Loneliest Runner, a raw glimpse into his childhood. Yet amidst the darkness, a spark emerged. Eugene discovered javelin throwing, a sport where he could channel his pain into power. By 1954, he was a national standout, hurling the javelin 193 feet 4 inches, a high school record. The next year, he pushed it to 211 feet 7 inches, earning a scholarship to the University of Southern California. Could this be his ticket to the Olympics? He believed his strength came from his long hair, a nod to Samson's biblical might. But a cruel prank by teammates, a forced crew cut, shook his confidence. His throws faltered, and a shoulder injury soon shattered his dreams, ending his athletic career and college days in one blow. Lost and directionless, Eugene took odd jobs, selling blankets, stocking shelves, unloading freight. But fate had other plans. While helping a friend rehearse lines for an audition, a talent scout spotted something special in him. There was just one problem. His name, Eugene Orowitz, was deemed too ethnic for Hollywood's spotlight. Flipping through a phone book, he landed on a new identity, Michael Landon. Just months later, in 1957, he starred in I Was a Teenage Werewolf, a low-budget horror film that became a cultural phenomenon, grossing nearly $2 million on a $123,000 budget. I Was a Teenage Werewolf. Playing a troubled teen turned monster, Landon's raw intensity launched the teenage monster genre, making him a star at 21. What drove him to embody such a tortured character so vividly? In 1959, he took on The Legend of Tom Dooley, a Western inspired by a true story of a Confederate soldier. His performance, laced with tragedy and romance, proved he could carry a film. But the call that changed everything came later that year. A new TV series, initially called The Restless Gun, but renamed Bonanza, cast him as Little Joe Cartwright, the spirited youngest son of a Nevada ranching family. Premiering on September 12, 1959, Bonanza was a gamble for NBC, the first Western shot entirely in color. Bonanza. Its vivid landscapes and heartfelt stories hooked viewers, and by its 6th season, it was America's top show, holding that spot for 3 years with over 19 million weekly viewers. Landon's charm as Little Joe made him a global sensation. By 1966, fan letters poured in from 64 countries, over 5,000 a week, dwarfing those of his co-stars. He once quipped he could say, "I don't speak your language," in German and Swedish, still learning Japanese. The show's success wasn't just in its visuals, it was about family. Set during and after the Civil War, Bonanza tackled moral dilemmas, with the Cartwrights defending their Ponderosa Ranch and their values. Behind the scenes, Landon found a second family. Lorne Greene, who played Patriarch Ben, became a mentor, guiding him and Dan Blocker, who played Hoss, to million-dollar contracts. But not all was perfect. Tensions with co-star Pernell Roberts led to his exit after season 6. What kept the cast so tight despite these clashes? At just 25, Landon's ambitions soared. In 1962, he convinced NBC to let him write a Bonanza script, a grueling task that took 2 days but sparked his creative journey. This was only the beginning. From a boy scarred by rejection, he'd become a star whose influence reshaped television. But what challenges awaited as his fame grew? In 1972, Michael Landon stood at the pinnacle of television success. Bonanza had been a cultural phenomenon for over a decade, and Landon had evolved from a young actor into a creative force, writing and directing episodes. Yet, beneath the glow of success, a storm was gathering, one that would unravel his tight-knit circle and thrust him toward a bold new horizon. The blow came swiftly. Dan Blocker, the gentle giant who brought Hoss Cartwright to life, was gone at 43, felled by complications from a routine surgery. For Landon and Lorne Greene, the loss cut deeper than any script could capture. 13 years had forged a bond that felt like blood. Greene called it a death in the family. The Bonanza crew wasn't just a cast, they were a unit, weathered by long days and shared dreams. NBC, though, pressed on, unwilling to let the show die with Blocker. Greene balked at the callousness, convinced the heart of the series had been ripped out. That September, Landon poured his grief into Forever, a story meant to celebrate Hoss's wedding, but rewritten as a gut-wrenching farewell. Little Joe's tale of loss and vengeance aired with quiet tributes. A photo of Hoss lingering on screen, tears breaking through Ben's stoic facade. Viewers felt it too, pushing the episode to 4th in the ratings. But could one heartfelt goodbye hold back the tide? It couldn't. NBC's next move sealed Bonanza's fate. They shifted the show from its Sunday stronghold to Tuesday nights, and the audience scattered. Ratings crashed from a towering number 4 to a dismal 52. By November 6, 1972, the network pulled the plug. Greene's anger flared. He'd been given 2 days to pack up a decade of memories. Even a street sweeper gets more respect, he fumed. In a desperate flip-flop, NBC tried to backtrack days later, but the damage was done. The sets were rubble. January 16, 1973 marked the end. 14 seasons, 431 episodes, and no proper curtain call. Fans mourned the abrupt silence, but Landon? He was already looking ahead, restless for what came next. By 1974, while TV churned out gritty cops and canned laughter, Landon craved something gentler, richer. He found it in the worn pages of Laura Ingalls Wilder's books. A tale of grit and grace his daughter devoured and his wife cherished. NBC hesitated. Pioneer life wasn't exactly a slam dunk. But Landon, armed with a fresh exclusive deal, wouldn't bend. He pitched hard, and a 2-hour pilot hit screens in March. Come September, Little House on the Prairie was born. This wasn't just a gig for him. He was the pulse of it all, producing every one of its 204 episodes through 1983, scripting dozens and calling the shots behind the lens. His pace was relentless. One take, a curt print, and on to the next. He stretched the saga beyond the series with 3 TV movies, proving this was his canvas. Loyalty defined him too. The Bonanza crew, Kent McRae, William Claxton, David Rose, tagged along, Rose scoring every note. Landon even funneled his Rose Parade checks into Christmas gifts for the team, a small act that echoed his quiet care. Still, shadows crept in. Karen Grassel, the steadfast Ma Ingalls, clashed with Landon over respect and wages. By 1975, with Little House soaring in the top 10, she pushed for a raise, only to have Landon shut her down, insisting her role didn't carry weight with viewers. Her screen time dwindled, some days barely hitting 8 minutes, her residuals shrinking to a measly $127 per rerun. Trapped by her contract, she stewed in frustration. Worse, Landon's offhand remarks, crass jabs tossed out during rehearsals, left her and others reeling. His fling with Cindy Clerico, a young makeup artist, stirred more unease, flaunted while he was still wed. The set grew tense, a stark contrast to the harmony he preached on screen. That dissonance wasn't new. The man fans adored as Charles Ingalls rolled up in a Ferrari, gold glinting at his neck, a Marlboro in hand, miles from the Prairie's simplicity. His past fueled the rift. Born Eugene Orowitz in 1936, he'd wrestled with a mother lost to her own despair, once pulling her from the edge at age 10, a moment he dubbed his darkest. That weight seeped into his work. By Little House's third season, he wove haunting threads into scripts, characters consumed by anguish, fistfights erupting as if pain could be pummeled away. It mirrored his youth when he'd struck to save, yet his drive never faltered. He'd tweak lines late into the night, chasing perfection. The show dared to face poverty, prejudice, and loss, bold for its time. To the world, he was a hero. To those who knew him, a puzzle of brilliance and brokenness. As the sun set on Michael Landon's illustrious career, his personal life took center stage, revealing a man as complex as the characters he portrayed. His journey through love, loss, and legacy would captivate audiences long after the final curtain call. In 1956, Landon married Dodie Levy Fraser, a legal secretary, and adopted her 11-year-old son, Mark. Together, they welcomed a son, Josh, into their family. But by 1962, their marriage had dissolved. Just weeks after the divorce, Landon found love again with Marjorie Lynn No, a woman he met while filming Bonanza. He adopted Lynn's daughter, Cheryl, and together they had 4 more children: Leslie, Michael Jr., Shauna, and Christopher. For 19 years, their family seemed unbreakable, a testament to Landon's commitment to fatherhood and family life. But in 1982, scandal struck. On the set of Little House on the Prairie, Landon met Cindy Clerico, an 18-year-old stand-in. At 46, Landon was drawn to her youth and vitality. Co-stars noticed the growing closeness, and soon, whispers turned to shouts. Karen Grassel, who played Caroline Ingalls, later revealed Landon's boasts about his revived libido and the power of bee pollen. He even recommended books like My Mother, Myself, Gifts from Cindy. The affair was a betrayal of epic proportions. Landon, America's perfect TV dad, was leaving his wife of 19 years for someone younger than his own daughter. When the affair went public, the fallout was catastrophic. Lynn No discovered the truth by following them and, in a fit of rage, reportedly threw a bottle of vodka at Landon's head. Advertisers like Kodak severed ties, and the press had a field day. In interviews, Landon tried to justify his actions, insisting it wasn't about lust but deep-seated marital problems. Yet, fans couldn't reconcile the man who played angels and good fathers on screen with the one living a very different life off it. Despite the chaos, Landon married Cindy in 1983, and they had 2 children, Jennifer and Sean. Now, with 9 children in total, Landon's life was a tapestry of love and complexity. To his youngest, he was a warm, playful father. Sean once said he didn't even realize his dad was famous, while Jennifer recalled how Landon treated her like an adult, even watching My Left Foot with her at age 6. But for the older children, the divorce was a painful blow. Cheryl, his stepdaughter, adored him, especially after he stayed by her side during a near-fatal car crash. Yet, his decision to leave her mother left her heartbroken. Melissa Gilbert, who played Laura Ingalls, found herself torn between loyalty to Landon and the hurt he caused. Years later, Landon's son, Michael Jr., created a film, The Father I Knew, a poignant exploration of loving someone who has hurt you. It was a tribute and a reckoning, reflecting the duality of Landon's character. In 1984, amidst the personal turmoil, Landon returned to work with a new vision. Stuck in Beverly Hills traffic, he observed the frustration around him and thought, if people just acted nice, everything would flow better. This simple insight birthed Highway to Heaven, where he played Jonathan Smith, an angel sent to help people on Earth. The show, which ran for 5 seasons and 111 episodes, was a testament to Landon's belief in kindness, second chances, and faith. Like his character, who had once lived as Arthur Thompson and died in 1948, Landon too would face his mortality at age 54. In early 1991, while skiing in Utah, Landon began experiencing severe headaches. On April 5th, doctors diagnosed him with pancreatic cancer, which had already spread to his liver. He was only 54. A month later, he appeared on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, speaking openly about his illness, joking about it, and urging people not to ignore warning signs. He attributed his cancer to smoking and drinking, habits he had tried to quit after his Highway to Heaven co-star Victor French died of lung cancer. At 1:20 p.m. on July 1st, 1991, Michael Landon passed away at home, holding Cindy's hand. In his final moments, he asked for a moment alone with her, telling his children, "I love you all very much, but would you go downstairs and give me some time with Cindy?" His funeral was a testament to his impact, with 500 people attending to honor him. Ronald Reagan called his battle with cancer a story that touched the heart of every American. Melissa Gilbert simply said he had integrity. Landon's grave at Hillside Memorial Park is simple, bearing the words, "He seized life with joy. He gave to life generously. He leaves a legacy of love and laughter." Next to him rests his adopted son Mark, who passed away in 2009. But there's also a hidden memorial near the cliffs of Malibu where strangers leave flowers, rocks, and letters, a testament to the enduring love for the man who touched so many lives. In 1998, the National Cowboy Museum inducted him into the Hall of Fame, and his star shines on Hollywood Boulevard at 1500 North Vine Street. But for those who knew him, it was the little things that mattered. His daughter Shauna summed it up best. "Don't wait. There are only so many tomorrows." That's how Landon lived, and that's how he wanted to be remembered. Landon's success on Bonanza and Little House on the Prairie made him one of the highest-paid actors in television. By the peak of his career, he was earning millions per year with his contracts negotiated by Lorne Greene, who helped make Landon, himself, and Dan Blocker millionaires. Landon's influence extended beyond acting. He wrote and directed numerous episodes, giving him creative control and additional income streams. His luxury lifestyle was evident in his choice of homes. In the late 1980s, Landon sold his oceanfront Malibu colony house for approximately $6 million, around $11 million today, and moved to a 10-acre ranch in Malibu Canyon, designed for his large family. This new home featured stables, a tennis pavilion, and a swimming pool, reflecting his love for outdoor activities and family gatherings. Landon was also known for his collection of luxury cars, including Ferraris and other high-end vehicles, which he often drove to the set, much to the surprise of his co-stars who expected the humble Charles Ingalls to arrive in something less flashy. While there's no specific information on his watch collection, it's safe to assume that as a successful celebrity, he owned several high-end timepieces. However, Landon was more known for his down-to-earth persona, often seen wearing casual attire and accessories. In terms of business ventures, Landon was not just a performer but also a creator. He developed Little House on the Prairie and Highway to Heaven, both of which were critically acclaimed and commercially successful. He also had a production company, Landon Productions, which was involved in various television projects. Landon's collaborations included working with major networks like NBC and producing specials such as The Rose Parade, for which he was paid handsomely and used the earnings to buy Christmas gifts for his crew, showcasing his generosity. The key financial lesson from Landon's life is the importance of diversifying income streams. By not only acting, but also writing, directing, and producing, he ensured multiple sources of revenue, which sustained his lavish lifestyle and provided for his family, even after his death. In comparing Landon's past to his present, it's striking how his public persona as the wholesome TV dad contrasted with his personal struggles and complexities. Yet, his ability to connect with audiences through his roles and his resilience in the face of personal and health challenges cement his legacy as a true icon of television. As we reflect on Michael Landon's life, we see a man who embraced both the heights of fame and the depths of human experience, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire and entertain. If this moved you, drop a like, share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more untold stories.